Ray Binkowski sitting in Hybrid Training Gym, FitWorkz in DeKalb, Illinois. You would have to have lived under a rock to not have seen in social media, pop culture, network news, the cable news outlets, the newspaper and magazines, you name it, everything for the last 72 hours or thereabout has been about if you eat meat, you will get cancer. If you eat processed meat, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. If you eat somewhat processed meat, it's likely it's carcinogenic and you're going to get cancer. And of course, all the vegans have come crawling and scurrying out from the woodwork saying, see, we were right, told you so. My opinion, I'm not a doctor, I'm not practicing medicine, but a couple nuances. One, supposedly, we are consuming 25% less red meat in North America, the United States, than we were in the 1970s. Okay, that should mean that we have less cancer. Yet, if you go over to the National Institute of Health website, a government body that's supposed to be independently funded and unbiased, yet the knuckleheads that created the food pyramid were out pimping for food lobby as a food lobbyist when they created the food pyramid. So if you read between the lines, the big cereal grain companies paid those folks to make the food pyramid, and you had 8 to 11 servings of high margin foods from the food industry. But nonetheless, National Institute of Health website, 1975, 400 new cases of cancer out of 100,000 people in the United States. That means 400 out of 100,000 got cancer every year. If we look at 2007, which according to NIH was the latest year for which updated stats in the US exist, they had 461 new cases. That means 461 more people per 100,000 got cancer in 2007 versus 1975. Yet, according to some data, we're eating 25% less meat. And by the way, why are we eating less meat? Because we were hoodwinked, led to believe that meat was the reason for heart disease, so therefore, don't eat meat, don't eat fat, cholesterol's bad, yada, yada, yada. Yet, we still have epidemic levels of heart disease. But that's another whole discussion. At the end of the day, here's my opinion. Should we eat processed crap? No. If you have the occasional processed crap, is it going to kill you? Probably not. The other thing that's absent from any discussion of the research is this. The individuals that are eating the highly processed garbage, okay, if you're existing off packages of hot dogs, you're probably doing other things, nutrition-wise, very poorly, and it's highly unlikely that you've exercised ever. Like Tim said, yeah, you're eating the hot dogs, and how many Pop-Tarts did you have today? So what other crap in processed garbage and junk are the people that they reference in that study consuming on a daily basis, and then what's their overall lifestyle like? And by the way, that's something that's terribly difficult, if not impossible, to control. That's probably one of the biggest flaws when we look at food is legitimately, unless you live in a bubble, it's next to impossible to control what people eat on a day in and day out basis, regardless of what they say they did or didn't consume. So again, take home point, unless you're eating the processed junk all the time, unless you're eating tons and tons of processed junk all the time, unless you're living a completely unhealthy, inactive lifestyle, some of that data may not apply to you. And again, if we look at the data going back to the 70s from the National Institute of Health, there's actually 61 more people per 100,000 getting cancer today in the United States than back in the 70s. So somewhere the math isn't adding up. Point number two, the other meats, which I'm going to refer to, beyond just the bacon and encased sausage and stuff like that, they mention things like glyphosate, which is present weed killers. Well, I'm sorry, government. I'm sorry, World Health Organization. I have a hard time accepting that. If you're listing that as contributing to the carcinogen in meat, you can't have it both ways because you're out there saying that it's okay for us to basically engineer our crops. So apparently, the spray on the feed for the animals contributes to the animal's meat being a carcinogen, but the spray on the crops that humans eat, it doesn't go that way. Maybe I'm completely missing something, but something doesn't add up. So again, I think everything in balance, everything in moderation. There's also, in addition to that, If you're burning your food, I don't care what the food is, that black crispy stuff is carbon, and it's probably safe to say it's a carcinogen, and it could be burnt toast and it could be burnt meat. The other thing is nitrates, Tim, correct? Nitrates are found in deli meat. And Tim's our lead trainer here. He's also typically our camera guy. Tim's been doing a lot of research on nitrates and nitrites. And actually the nitrates in your lunch meat, as long as you don't expose them to temperature, they don't turn into a carcinogen. In fact, nitrates can potentially contribute to an increase in nitric oxide in your blood. And generically, and again, I'm not a doctor, but that may contribute to lowering the diastolic number on your blood pressure. That's the number in the denominator, the bottom number. And for all you guys out there with ED popping the little blue pill that's in all of the commercials, nitric oxide means maybe you don't need the blue pill. So again, I think the jury's still out. I don't think we know enough information. I think, unfortunately, in like all of you watching this, I've lost immediate family members to cancer, extended family members, good friends, co-workers, so on and so forth. We just don't know enough about it, period. And to accept a study, I think it'd be nice to see more info about this study, i.e. what was the lifestyle like of the person eating the highly processed encased meat? How were they preparing the encased meat? And then also it'd be nice for somebody to actually look at the government data, some of which seems to indicate there's 61 more people per 100,000 that have cancer in the United States in the 2000s than there were in the 70s. So again, I think we need more data. I think balance is the right answer. I think not burning your food is the right answer. I think not eating processed food all the time is outright intelligent. And I think it's something we should all be doing, along with leading a more active lifestyle. Again, a lot of that, who knows where was in the research or in the World Health information. Cursory glance on my part, I can't seem to find it. So that's my 2 cents. It's kind of been like, as I posted yesterday on Facebook, watching a digital car wreck with all of the gapers getting their panties in the bunch, clogging social media, and oftentimes with half-truths, partial truths, and maybe the occasional truth. But again, I don't think we need enough info, or we have enough info. We don't have enough facts. We certainly don't understand cancer well enough, in my opinion. Ray Binkowski, owner of the Hybrid Training Gym, FitWorkz in DeKalb, Illinois.